What is up, my YouTube friends? I do a lot of content on OBS Studio, but today I want to help those folks that are using Streamlabs OBS. It has a lot of cool built-in features that make it really easy to use. I'm going to show you how to set it up to stream to different platforms, add widgets, add multiple cameras, use a green screen, and anything else you may want to know about Streamlabs OBS. So let's get to it! My analytics say that 80% of the folks who watch my content are not subscribed. Am I doing something wrong? If so, let me know in the comments. But if you are looking for tools, tips, and tricks that can help make you a better YouTuber or live streamer, subscribe to the channel and click that bell so you don't miss any new content. It's totally free. I'm gonna break down this video so it's easy to follow. First, I'm gonna show you how to configure Streamlabs OBS to stream to a platform like YouTube or Twitch. Second, I'm gonna show you how to set up a bunch of different configuration options to help you set up your overlay. Third, I'm gonna show you how to set up a simple scene in Streamlabs OBS. Fourth, I want to show you how to add widgets, alerts, chat overlays, and donations. Fifth, I'm going to show you how to add multiple cameras and capture application screens for games or even a full display in your scene. Sixth, I want to walk you through setting up a green screen to work in Streamlabs OBS. And last but not least, I'm gonna show you some cool features that Streamlabs OBS offers that can help you make your streams easy to manage. And I'm gonna show you a little bit about how you can troubleshoot your live streams just in case something goes wrong with Streamlabs OBS. There's a lot to get to, so let's get right into it. So when you first use Streamlabs OBS, it's going to ask you what platform you're using and automatically sign you on. But just in case you want to stream to another platform or something like that, you go down here and you click this little gear in the bottom left-hand corner, and then you're gonna go up to Stream. And it has stream type, streaming services. You can also go to a custom server, and you go to services and you can switch between all kinds of different ones: Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, a whole bunch of different ones. And you can use the recommended actual streaming location, or you can change that to your own, and you can go over into your streaming service. In this case, it's Twitch. You can see on the left hand side we have stream selected, and it shows us our primary stream key, and we're just going to copy that out and go into Streamlabs, and we'll paste that right into the stream key here, and now we would be set up to stream to Twitch. It's really that simple, and it works exactly the same for YouTube. It's probably already set up the moment that you start to get ready to live stream. So now that that's set up, let's set up our stream. You want to go into video and make sure that your base canvas resolution and your output scaled resolution are exactly the same and what you want to stream at. These are probably going to be 1920 by 1080, except for maybe to Facebook, in which case they'll be 720. Then you want to select your frames per second, and I stream at 30, but a lot of people stream at 60, so just go ahead and change that to how you want to stream. Then we're going to go to output, and we want to select streaming, and I like to be in advanced. And you can drop down the encoder and select one. Your only one might be N264. It depends on your video card here. So select a video card if you have it, otherwise X264 is just fine. Now you can select your rate control and your bit rate, and this is going to be based on where you're streaming. Usually somewhere between 4,000 and 6,000 is a good bit rate, depending upon the location that you decide to stream to. Under preset, you can drop this down, and the higher the quality setting here, the more stress it's going to put on your computer. So you're probably going to have to do a little bit of testing to see what works best for you. Below that, they have high, main, and baseline. I've always seen this set to high, so I probably wouldn't change it. These two settings here for look ahead and psycho-visual tuning are something that you can use that can increase performance if you are using a video card, and especially if you're doing games or something like that. If you do just a conversational stream, they're really not necessary because there's not that much going on the screen to begin with. But if you're streaming games and you have a video card, which if you're streaming games you probably should, then look ahead and psycho-visual tuning are something that you can select here. And that's pretty much it. We would be ready to stream with the settings just the way they are right now. Let's move on to the overlay and see how this all works. So down here in the bottom left-hand corner, if we click on this little icon here, it brings up a display editor. And this allows us to move these sections around so we can put anything pretty much anywhere we want it on our screen. Up in the top left-hand corner, there are different ones that you can use that will add all sorts of different boxes so that we can really configure this exactly the way we want. And all we need to do is we can drag and drop any of these things over here on the left, move them around. We can change places so you can add or remove things from any of these display layouts so that your stream is set up exactly the way you want it so you can see everything that you need to see. Once you're finished, you can just click Save Changes up here in the top right-hand corner and your display scene is set up. If you go down here in the left-hand corner, this is what they call studio mode. Now you see I have two scenes set up, and if I switch between those scenes, you can see we just have a different video playing. And if I go into studio mode, you see my live screen is on the right. I can switch to another scene and it selects on the left. When I click the transition button, it automatically moves it over there. Now the screen is black because it doesn't actually start to play the video until I transition it over there. But if this were a camera or something like that, it would be showing it. So this is an easy way to be able to kind of select what scene you want next, and then just click the transition button and it will transition that to the live scene. And if you don't want to use studio mode, all you have to do is click the icon again down here in the bottom left-hand corner and it'll switch back to regular view. All right, let's get into it and set up a simple scene. So we have a default scene that's already created. And what we're gonna do is add some sources. When we click this plus button, it brings up this box right here. We're going to select video capture device, and then we're going to add the source. And we can change the name of our source, and we're just gonna call this one camera, and then go ahead and click add source. And we can drop this device box down and select our source. And I like to change it up so it's custom, and select my resolution. There's nothing else I usually play with right here except for the use custom audio device. I like to check that and select the exact microphone that I want to be using. In this case, it's the Camlink microphone. I click done and you can see there we go. We are getting audio from our camera. Now you can also see that it adds these other devices, but these unwanted ones that it creates, I'll usually right click on them, or I'll click the little gear button and I'll just remove them. We don't need any more audio devices than what is necessary. So there we go. Now we just have my camera device in here. If I want another device, I will load it in specifically. And you can see we can just grab the corners and reshape the size of this box. It's really easy. Next, we're going to add a media source in here, and you can change the name of this media source if you like. We're just going to call this one video. Click add source, and I'm just going to browse to the location of a video source that I want to use. Click open, and it's a short video clip, so I'm going to select a loop, and we can adjust the speed of this clip if we like. We can make it fast, we can make it super slow. And this is nice when you're adding an overlay or something like that. And then I'm just going to click done, and I'm going to resize this video. And there we go. Now we have two elements in our scene, the camera and a little bit of a video. Next, I'm going to go ahead and add another media source, but you can see we don't want to reuse that video one. We're going to add a new source instead by clicking this. And we're going to put an overlay in here, and we're going to add that source, and we're just going to browse to the location of our overlay. And we're going to go ahead and loop it because it is a video file and it's an overlay, so it's going to be on the screen for a while. And then click done. And there we go. Now you can see we have this overlay. We can move it anywhere we want on the screen. I'm going to go ahead and move it over here to the side so I can move my video up. I'm going to right click on this video and go ahead and just remove it since we don't need that in our scene. I'm going to move our overlay back over here, and then I'm just going to resize my video so it fits in this little square. And there we go. And I want to hide the audio for the overlay. Since it is a video, it does have overlay, but we don't need it, so I'm just going to hide it. And you do that by right clicking and selecting hide. And this is a pretty simple scene. We can add a second scene here just by clicking this little plus above scenes, and we're going to call this one coming soon, and click done. It automatically switches us to that scene, and we're going to add a source in here. We're just going to add a text source. We're going to click add source, and we'll just call this one soon and click add source. And you can go ahead and select use Google font, and pretty much every Google font that you can think of is listed in here. So you can find just about anything that you could possibly ever want to use as a font, which is really, really awesome. Or you can just go to the font family right here. It will select fonts that are already loaded on your computer. You can select your font style if there's multiples loaded, your font size, and in this text box here, you're just going going to go ahead and type in what you want your text to say. So we're just gonna type stream starting soon. And you can see when I create a new line, it creates a new line of text as well. And we want that centered, and I'll show you how to fix that in a second, but we're just going to increase our font size all the way up to the right here. And if we scroll down here, we can change it to vertical if we select this. We can also use the text transform to make it all uppercase, all lowercase, or anything like that. Here in the alignment, we can change it so it's center aligned. And we can check this gradient box, and we can change the colors of our text. So if I go up here to the main color, it's already white, so I'll leave that, but we'll change our gradient color to a red color over here. And you can see that now our text goes from white to red from the top to the bottom. And I can use this gradient direction to rotate around which direction the gradient is gonna run. And this can add all kinds of really cool text effects. I absolutely love it. You can also add a background color to your text if you would like. And we can select any color here. We'll just add this blue, and we can change the opacity of the background so our background shows up much better. And that looks pretty awesome. So you can have an opaque background, or you can actually put a background color in there if you want to. And we can add an outline just by clicking this little outline box, and we can adjust the outline size to make it bigger or smaller. And that looks pretty awesome. You can actually change the outline color and the opacity right here. So you can make it more opaque or less, however you want. And now you have a good understanding of how to use the text tool in Streamlabs OBS. You can just click done and then move this wherever you want. And now we can switch back and forth between these two scenes really easily. I can just drag coming soon up to the top and now just select one or the other and it switches back and forth. But let's add a transition with this little gear button here. And I'm going to go ahead and delete this transition. And I'm just going to modify this one by clicking the little pencil button. And we want to change this transition to a slide transition, and we want that slide transition to go to the right. So we'll select that, and then when we're done, we just click done and then done again. And now when I switch back and forth in between these two scenes, you can see it slides the old scene out to the right and slides in the new one to the right. Really easy, simple stuff, but now we know how to create a basic scene. Now if we go over to the right, we can check out our mixer. And we're gonna click on this little gear and we're going to open advanced settings. And you can see it lists two things. We have our overlay, which doesn't have any audio, so we have it hidden, and our camera. And right over here under audio monitoring, we can drop this down and select monitor off, monitor only, which means you can hear it, but it doesn't go live, or monitor and output, which means you can hear it and it goes live. Usually we have it set to off, and let me show you, if you do have your monitor set up, you want to go into settings and then advanced, and you want to set your audio monitoring device to whatever you're going to be listening to your monitor on. So you might have it set to speakers. You probably don't want to because it'll feed back into your microphone. You probably want to have it set to some sort of headphones in here. But if you don't hear anything when you have it set to monitor, you might want to go into advanced and just make sure that you actually have it set up to be monitoring an actual audio source. We don't just want the basics though. So let's add some widgets and spice it up a bit. So to add widgets, we're going to click this little plus over the scenes, and you can see over here it says must be logged in for widgets. Well, that's not good. If you run into this problem, it's pretty simple to log in. You can just click right there to log in, or you can go down here to the bottom left and click this button, and then just go down to the bottom left of that and log in. And you're going to log in under your platform of choice. In my case, it is YouTube, and it goes and selects your account and does all this fun stuff. And boom, now we're logged in. So when we go ahead and we click that plus, now our widgets are all populated. So let's select the alert box and add source. And I'm going to add source again. And you can see in our alert box, we have donations and all kinds of stuff with little sliders next to them. I'm going to select the donation one. And over here on the right, I'm going to select media, and I'm going to change the media. And you can see that I've uploaded a bunch of stuff, but we'll go to all the images images, the stock file, and we'll scroll through here so you can see all of the different ones that you can actually choose for your donation alert. And of course you can choose these for any alert. We're gonna select the little zombie one and click done. And then you can go and change your media file for your sound, and we're just going to go ahead and click sounds. And the ones that are Prime are paid, but luckily Streamlabs has put some audio stuff in here that is totally free. And by the way, you can upload audio of your own. Anything you want, you can upload it and use it as audio for your widgets. So there we go. Now we have that widget set up. We can adjust the volume of the audio for the widget and all that kind of stuff. And you can see this just has green bars next to the ones that you want to do. So we'll select Super Chat next. I'm going to change up the media for this because I have my own custom ones in here. And we'll use this little bear guy. I like that. And we'll change the audio sound for this. And of course, these are audio sounds that I uploaded. I'm going to select some of the stock ones. You can pretty much just double click on these and it will select them. You can see for some reason it didn't actually change the video file. So I'm going to go back in here and go to images and select the correct video file and make sure that the audio file got selected properly. And there we go. That looks proper. So now we have our Super Chat alert set up, and you can go into animation and you can change the way that these animations come in, and you can change the layout and all of that cool stuff if you want. If you just click in the box, it will show you different sizes as well. So selecting show animation shows you how all of this stuff is going to come in and come out. You can do bounce in, bounce out, fade in, fade out. You can set your alert duration, and you can change the way that your text comes in as well. Let's go to this last one here and change our subscriber alert. And we're going to go to images, and let's use this one right here, this little plankton guy, Mr. Plankton. And we'll scroll down and we'll select some audio for our Mr. Plankton guy. And there we go. So now we're all set up and ready to test these out and see if our widgets work. So we're going to click done, and you can see our alert boxes here. We're going to move it to where we want to see it on the screen, and we're going to resize it up. Now you have to make sure that these alerts are on top. It works as a layer, and there we go. We can go down here and select test widgets and then click the widget that we want to test. You can see my custom widget there for memberships and donation. There we go. And of course, Super Chats. So all the ones that we set up are working, and they look great. They really do look awesome. So what are we going to put in this box over here? I think we're going to put a chat box. So we're going to click this plus. We're going to go and add our chat box, add a source, and you can come in here and you can go ahead and change the visual settings of your chat box. You can change the font settings for your chat box. There are a couple of other options where you can hide other chat bots and that sort of stuff. And if you go up to visual settings, you can actually change the background color. So if you want it to be opaque so you can see right through it, you can select that as well. But we're just going to click done, and we're going to move it over to where our chat box should go and resize it up a little bit. And there we go. So when we are live streaming, our chat is going to scroll right here. It's going to look awesome. So now we have these boxes down here: last subscriber, top donation, last donation. Let's set those up. Let's click that plus, and we're going to go ahead and select stream label, and we're going to go ahead and add a source. And we'll call this one last sub, and we're going to click add source. And now we're going to drop this down, and we're going to go ahead and find the actual label type for our last subscriber, most recent subscriber. That's the right one. You can see the template says this just lists the name. We can change our font and our font style and our font size. We can actually see it up here in the top left-hand corner. We're just going to drag this down into the correct box. We can change the color or do all kinds of really cool stuff with these. I really love this. This gives you a lot of options, do all kinds of really cool things. It makes labeling your stream so easy. And the thing is when you put these in here, that means when you get a new subscriber on the stream, it's going to change the name. It's really fantastic. You can change the alignment to these, and you just move them around in your box here. We'll go back in here. We can change the vertical alignment as well, and when we're done, we just click done. And now we're going to click plus, and we're going to go to stream label and add source. And now we want to add a different one than the one we have, so we're going to check this add a new source instead right here. And we're going to call this one top donation. click add source, and we want our all-time top donator. It's already up there, and it's the same process. So we'll just click done, and we're going to drag it down into the proper location over top donation. And we have one more. We have last donation, and the process is exactly the same. We're going to click that plus button, go to stream label, add the source. We're going to go ahead and add a new one, and we'll name it. We want to definitely name these so we know exactly what the heck they are. You can see your sources can get pretty used up. Then we'll select label type, and we'll scroll down until we find the proper label, most recent donor. You can see it does name and amount. And we don't really need to change anything else up. We're just going to click done, drag this into the proper location, and now we have all of these set up. But if you can see, our source box is getting pretty thick with stuff, and it makes it more difficult to figure everything out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the top one, hold shift, and select the last one, and then I'm going to go ahead and right click on that and group them in a folder. And I'm going to call this folder widgets, and then we'll click submit, and there we go. Now all of our widgets are in a folder, and it makes all the sources a heck of a lot easier to find and work through since they're all grouped together. And that is just a little bit of a quick run through about the kind of different widgets that you can add on your live stream. And you can see how ridiculously easy it is to add all kind of fun tools to your live stream in Streamlabs OBS that can help your audience participate with the stream. It's really, really cool. Next, let's add multiple cameras and show you how to add screen and display captures. What I'm gonna do is add another scene. So I'm gonna click the plus under scenes, and we're going to call this one multi-camera or multicam. That works too. Click done. Now we can set up our sources. I'm going to click this plus, and I'm going to select video capture device and add the source. And you can see our camera's already loaded in. So we're just going to add that source, and I'm gonna resize it a little bit here. And I'm gonna click the plus again, and we're going to go to video capture device and click add source. And we're going to go down here and add a new source instead. We're going to call this one Cam2 and click add source. I'm going to drop this down and select another camera that I have on my system. There we go. And I'm going to select custom and make sure that it's got the proper resolution that I'm looking for. And I'm going to go down here and I'm going to use custom audio device, and I'm going to select the same audio device I'm using for everything else, which is my cam link, and click done. Now you can see my cam link's going in here twice. So I'm going to mute that, and then I'm going to click the gear and go ahead and hide this one. There we go. So that one's totally hidden, and we can just shrink this up. Now we have two cameras in our scene, two different camera angles. I'm going to click the plus, and we're going to go into a video capture device once again, click add source, and we want to add a different one. So I'm going to slide this over, and we're going to call this one Cam3 and click add source. I'm going to drop this down, and we're going to select another camera that I have added to my computer. There we go. This is the keyboard cam basically, or we're not going to change this one to custom. It looks fine the way it is. And we're going to use our custom audio device once again. We're going to change this to cam link and click done. There we go. I'm going to mute that one, and I'm going to go ahead and hide it. So there we go. That guarantees we're only using the mic one time. And now we have three different cameras in one scene. And you can see there's no lag or anything. It works perfectly. It may on your system or it may not, depending upon what sort of video card you have and all that kind of stuff. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to add another scene here. And we're going to call this one screen share. And we're going to go ahead and click done. And under the sources for this, we're going to click that plus. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to capture a display. So we're going to select display capture, click add source. And now all we have to do is drop this down and select the display that we want to show. And there we go. That one looks good. I'm going to click done. And you can see this display is an odd shape. It is square. It's an old monitor. And yours probably won't be like that, but you can shape it up any way you want. And what I'm going to do is open a new browser window here, and we'll move this up onto that monitor. And there you go. Now it's capturing the entire display, and I can show something. If I'm capturing desktop audio, I can play videos or anything like that just by putting whatever application I want on this screen. Now I'm going to click this minus and remove that, and we're going to click the plus again, and I'm going to go and select window capture. Now what window capture will let you do is capture a very specific application. So let's go ahead and capture Premiere. And there we go. We'll drop this down under window, and we're just going to have to scroll until we find the Premiere Pro window that we're looking for. And that's not it. There we go. That is the right one. And we can click done. You can also capture your cursor if you want. You can click done. And now we could do a tutorial or capture the screen for our Premiere Pro, and folks would be able to see whatever we are doing in Premiere Pro. This is great for creating tutorials or for live streaming where you show folks your screen. It's awesome stuff. And there you can see that it is running and doing its thing. Now there is one other screen capture method. If we go ahead and we click the minus to remove that, we can click plus and we can go and do a game capture. Click add source and then add source. And right here you have different modes. Most people use capture my full screen application, but you can capture specific windows and all that kind of stuff. There are a bunch of different options. Some games will not work if you don't have the anti-cheat compatibility hook checked. And if we select choose specific window, it works pretty much just like window capture. And there you go. That's how game capture works. So now you know how to capture different sources on your computer so that you can record them or live stream them. Green screens are an easy way to add your camera to the screen without taking up too much space or adding too much distraction. So let me show you how it's done. So what we're going to do is we're going to create another scene, and you definitely want to name your scenes and that sort of stuff so you remember what the heck each scene is. And we're gonna call this one green screen. We're gonna click done, and then I'm going to click the plus under sources. We're going to load a video capture device and add source. And we're going to use the camera that we already have. You can see I put my little portable green screen back there. And I know what you're saying, but Mike, it's not covering the whole background. Well, that's all right. I'll show you how to fix that. We're just going to right click and go to filters with that camera selected. And we're going to click this little plus right here and drop down the filter type. And we need to scroll until we come to chroma key. And there we go. We don't need to change the name of this. We kind of know what it is. We're going to click done, and here we go. It brings this up. Now we can adjust these settings, and what you're trying to do is get your green screen to be completely black. And there we go. That actually looks pretty good. We can also adjust these settings right here, and each of these settings in conjunction with the other are going to help to create the kind of green screen look that you're going for. Now, one thing that you may want to do is actually put what you're going to have in your background up before you go ahead and run this chroma key, because it makes it a heck of a lot easier, as you're going to see in a second. But you can adjust all of these pieces to get the look you want. Click done. What I'm going to do is add another source in here. I'm going to click this plus button, and I'm going to add a media source. We're going to add a video. So I'm going to select that, and I want a different source than my overlay. We're going to browse to that source and just select one of these videos, click open. I'm going to loop it because the videos are short, and then click done. Now it's over top of the camera, so we're going to drag it down below the camera, and there we go. Now you can see that because I didn't have a source behind me, this looks kind of funky. So we want to select the camera, and we want to right click on it and go to filters. Now we're going to move this over to the side, and we're going to fix this problem. You can see if I adjust the opacity, we can completely disappear. I'm going to turn these down a little bit, and there we go. That's looking a little better. So if we can adjust some of these other ones so that I'm not looking quite as opaque. There we go. That's better. I'm not necessarily totally see-through here. We can do a better job, but part of the reason why this doesn't look great is because I didn't spend any time to actually light my green screen. I just wanted to show you how to do it. So now I'm going to hold the Alt key, and I'm going to drag this up. So we're basically dragging out that other piece that just didn't look good. Now I can drag me down, and there you go. You don't see any of the part that I didn't have with the green screen. And I look green screened in there pretty nice. I am a little bit opaque, but it's not perfect. If you're going to set this up, you're obviously going to take the time to light your green screen properly, and then you're going to get absolutely perfect results. Finally, we should look at a couple of really cool features and some troubleshooting steps so you know when there's a problem with your stream. And we're going to start out here down in the bottom right. You can see we have a record button for you to record things. We have a replay button, and we also have this schedule button, and if we click it, you can see that we can schedule our live stream and set everything up right here in Streamlabs OBS. That's pretty awesome. Over here on the lower left, if we click this little bar chart thing, it brings up some performance metrics so we can see what our stream is doing. And if we click these, we can actually have these mounted down here in our bar. See? Down in the lower left-hand corner, it lists all of these if we click on them. So now we can monitor the health of our live stream when we're actually streaming. It's awesome. It makes it really easy to see if we're dropping frames or if something's not rendering or if we're using an inordinate amount of CPU. And that's always good to know. All we really have to do is click go live now if we wanted to. Let's go into our settings and look at some really cool stuff. If we go into output and we were going to record, we would just select this right here. You're going to want to select your recording path, what sort of recording format you want, how many audio tracks you want to record under. You can select your encoding method right here, and you can set up your bitrate and everything so that you can record anything that you would live stream. You can record. It's pretty awesome stuff. If you go into audio, you can change your audio bitrate for each of the tracks. Generally speaking, you're only going to be using track 1, and 160 is a pretty good bitrate to be set at. Next, let's look at the hotkeys. You can see if we scroll down here, you can set up hotkeys for each individual scene. We're going to go here to the coming soon scene. We don't have much in here, just that text box. So what I can do is go under show soon, which is our text name. And I went to numpad 1 and hide it, numpad 1, and click done. If we go to coming soon and I click numpad 1, you can see it shows it and then it hides it if I click it again. That's how easy it is to set up hotkeys. Pretty cool stuff. We can go into scene collections and you can import overlays if you're using OBS or something. You can also export them. And you can import widgets into a current scene, which is nice. If we go into appearance, you can select night or day. Day pretty much is blinding. I wouldn't bother to use it, but it's good to know that it is here if you wanted to check it out. Remote control is a really cool feature. Now you can load up the Streamlabs OBS control app on your phone, scan this QR code, and then control your entire stream, change scenes and everything right from an app on your phone. Really cool stuff. And you can see they're always adding beta features like this game overlay right here. You can check it out if you are a game streamer. It looks like it's pretty cool stuff. Virtual webcam is another cool feature. It's also experimental at the moment. This enables you to export whatever you have in Streamlabs OBS to another application like Zoom or Skype or anything else. You could use Streamlabs OBS as if it was a camera in Zoom or Teams or anything like that, which makes it pretty powerful. Next, we can go up here and we can look at the alert box library. This is a preset bunch of things that Streamlabs allows you to purchase, of course, that give you extra alerts and all kinds of other cool sound effects and overlays. And there's a couple of different sections that Streamlabs OBS has for this sort of thing. So if you didn't want to create your own, you can always just use theirs. Themes gives you basically a full cadre of overlays and camera frames and widgets and all kinds of cool stuff. And the App Store pretty much has very similar things in it as well. There actually are apps in here that are free, and they're different kinds of things that you can use for your live stream. A lot of them are Prime, but some of them are free. Now, if we click this button down here in the bottom left-hand corner, it takes us to Chatbot, and this is on the web, but it is connected to Streamlabs OBS. And this is a chatbot that you can set up, and you just turn it on and off with this little slider here. If you wanted to put things in your chat like, hey, check out my Facebook or whatever. It's really, really cool chatbot, and as you get more into live streaming, you're definitely going to want to figure out how to use it. Now we can go in and select all widgets, and you can see there's this cool widget called the jar. And if we select it, we can go in here and you can see there are just all kinds of cool little jars. And this enables you to monetize your live stream even if you don't have YouTube's monetization status just yet. So let's go back in here, and you can see if I click the plus, I can go and add the jar right here. It's actually loaded up, and I just select which cup or jar I want to use. I can select which events I want it to go ahead and tell me about, and let's test it. There you go. You can see John Tip, and it drops these little coins that fall right into the jar. It's really, really cool stuff. Now you might be saying, Mike, well, how do you set this up? Well, don't worry. I'm gonna show you in just a second. You can actually change what the images are that fall into the cup and all that kind of stuff right in here. This is really, really cool. And your audience really does want to use it. They wanna donate to you just to see the little cup go. So let's click done. And what I'm gonna do is go back into the Streamlabs page here on the web, and we're gonna go into settings. And right here under donation settings, you can see that you can add in your PayPal or credit card or whatever you want in order for the audience to be able to give you donations. And by the way, Streamlabs doesn't take a single dime from any of this. Whatever the PayPal fees are is what they are. You can go into settings here and change it up so that you can send messages back, you can give tipping presets and all kinds of cool stuff. And this is the link right here that you're going to want to give folks so that they can donate to you once you have it set up. You can go into account settings and you can merge all of your different accounts that you stream from so that folks can donate on any of those accounts. You can add shared access for other people to be able to mess around with this. If you have someone or it's in a business account and you want someone else to be able to use it, you can add other things like Discord and Patreon and all that kind of stuff. It has integrations and then API stuff, which really doesn't do much for a beginner. So these are just a couple of the really, really cool features that you can access really easily when you're using Streamlabs OBS. It's really, really awesome stuff. It does no doubt make streaming a lot easier, especially if you want a more dynamic stream. It really does help to simplify live streaming. If you want to see how Streamlabs OBS and OBS Studio stack up against one another, you should check this video out. And if you're always looking for tools, tips, and tricks that can help make you a better YouTuber or live streamer, subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. My name is Michael Fire Jr. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.